Hi there and welcome to Stellaris. We're going to build an empire. Like, this is a guide to empire building, so let's create a new empire together. Like, I'll guide you through all the steps and then we'll together make 4 exemplary races for 4 different strategies that are research, expansion, diplomacy and war. So let's go. Like, for the appearance, it's the same. You don't have to, you can freely choose. It doesn't matter at all in the game how you look, so choose something you like. Let's go for something spacey here for this. Now you can get the name generated for you. You want that? It's pretty easy, but you will get them out of a fixed name pool, so you may meet your namesakes in the game, so you might go for the funny birds or whatever you like. Also note that this isn't their name. You should remove the. Otherwise the game will give you 2 this and they would be the funny birds. You can auto-generate the adjective, which is mostly good. And you can make a biography. If you're into law, then you can say like they originated from the mysterious jungle planet. Whoa. This seems to be a little bit bugged. Planet... What the fuck? Sorry. Irisia. And went on to discover the galaxy. So let's go next. You have like the names you can have here. I mean, look at the avians. We have avians here, and it's really fitting. Like, you have Roost Maker, Scream, Screech, Howl, Roost Shaper. No, these are more like the warlike names, and usually you have the flavored names here with Plumage. The same goes, of course, for the humans, like, who have these names, well, pretty warlike, and the other names are pretty flavorful. Let's go just for these. And let's give them the prefix. You can get a prefix which is very helpful usually to distinguish your ships from other ships, and it's also for flavor. It's cool. Now, racial traits. Racial traits are pretty important to choose. Now, these 3 first traits are pretty solid choices in general, but I wouldn't go for agrarian if you're not going for a specialized strategy. Safest pick is industrious. I'll give you my favorite picks. They are definitely thrifty and industrious. Now, natural physicists have like an edge because they can improve your research even more. So if you go for research, then you can also pick natural physicists. And of course, intelligent isn't bad either. If you're going for research, that is. But industrious is really the ruler, as it gives you more minerals. And then everything is really okay. I wouldn't go for rapid breeders though. That can be influenced with production of food very easily. So I wouldn't go for that. And also talented is so for 2 points. It's a little bit costly. Same goes for very strong, which is 3 times the cost of strong. I would rather go for strong and something else that is good. Now, nomadic, I haven't really seen the use of that. Very well. Communal is pretty helpful. 5% happiness is always good for you. Charismatic is, if you play diplomacy, that is helpful. Conformists can be good in the strategy if you like go for a lot of colonies, then this will be good, because there will be, if you spread out their empire even more and more, then the ethics will also spread out more and more, and you will have factions that will make trouble, and this stops it effectively. Now, vulnerable is only something for a special strategy, because it's like 5 times enduring, but only gives 3 times the years to do. So it's only something for a very special strategy. It's not really good. Enduring is okay, but nothing more. And resilient, I'd classify it as useless. If you're not like constantly fighting defensive wars where the enemy can invade your planets, then it's useless. So what should you pick for the negative traits? What is good there? Like what wouldn't hurt you much? Non-adaptive, for the 2 points it is pretty okay. Habitability minus 10% basically caps your happiness 10% lower. That is not too bad, as this goes away with research, so it would be a pick that is okay. Same goes for slow learners. I mean, slow breeders is okay as well. I wouldn't pick it really, because it can be tough with a higher growth time. Now, slow learners is okay. In time, you'll have very long living leaders, and the leader experience, you will have leaders at skill 5, which is the max skill in no time, even with that minus 25% leader experience gain. So that is something okay to pick. Weak is always something good to pick, especially if you get a bonus for the minerals. If you're taking industrious, that is not bad. Like army damage minus 20% really matters only at the start of the game. And if you're going for weak, then you're not going for like a militarist race, and that it's not really bad. Like you want to defend with your fleets, right? And that it doesn't affect your fleet damage. So sedentary, you can take that as well. Well, it will hurt you a bit, but it's not really bad as well. So solitary is your choice. It's not bad, like, but if you have a spread out empire with many different people and species in mind, then I wouldn't take it, because it leads to more factions, to have less happiness, and this is, yeah, not good. Now Repugnant, if this is a perfect pick, like if you're going for a militarist species that wants to be, that wants to attack everyone and take them over, because they will hate you anyway, so other species' happiness isn't important for you. Take that then. Deviance can be good with government traits, or can be okay. I wouldn't take it. It also causes, in the long run, more factions, and factions can be tough to deal with. Now, fleeting is okay. If you're going for a lot of research, then you will have very long living leaders in a very short time. And so fleeting won't matter that much. I mean, they will live 15 years less, but they will then live only 150 years instead of 165 years. So there's that. I mean, at the start it may hurt you a bit, but not really. Like the real influence costs are like in buildings often. Now Decadent is something, if you're going for a slavery pick, then it is a very good choice, because you don't want to live without slaves then, and then it would be a very good pick. So let's just make something fun here that is very strong for the start. Let's make them industrious, and let's see what's good in the list. Let's make them thrifty as well. And what doesn't hurt that much? We have 2 trade picks left, so you can already see we can go for weak without anything bad, and yeah, maybe we could make them repugnant, so they would be like emperors, so fleeting. Yeah, I wouldn't go and recommend slavers for you now. Let's just make slow learners. That doesn't hurt as much. So we're going to have a very good mineral and energy income, which is pretty helpful in the long run. That's just a standard species. Like, let's give them a name, Clotrest. You can here choose the color variants, the clothes, and it's depending on which kind of species or look you chose. Like, for humans, there's a lot to change here. For these, there's not a lot. Oh, let's see what's next. You have the planet classes here. Just choose one. And then, like the ones left and right, you can see here. Here's the ocean and the tropical world. Have then 60% habitability. Your main type has 80%. Your home planet has 100%. So these you won't be able to settle on. And these you will be able to settle on relatively good. And these will be very okay to settle. You can also settle on these, but the people will be unhappy. Know that until now, to Heinlein, like you need text to do that. When the Heinlein patch 1.3.0 comes out, which will be like in October somewhere, then you won't need any of these texts, but you will also have 9 planet types, but it doesn't change that much. So let's go for the Deneb system. Just to have a fixed system where you can go for the home world name. You can randomize it, you can give it like a... I thought I wrote something here in the in the species name, Iresia. There we go. Let's name it Iresia. Let's make it a tropical world. Birds in a tropical world. Seems to fit. You can choose here the city appearance. Doesn't matter what you choose for the gameplay. It's just the looks that are configured here. Now, what you choose here is really up to you. But note that most bonuses are tripled if you go for the fanatic choices. They will also limit your ability to choose. So if you go for 3 of these simple ones, then you'll have also more, you often get specialized buildings. So in the very long run it will be, or maybe better, but if you go for the extreme choices, you have very high bonuses at the start. Like if you go Fanatic Militarist, that is a good choice. For the start, you can see here that your weapons will do more damage, you will have war happiness and such, so it's a good choice. Let's make our birds actually conquerors of space. So let's make them Fanatic Militarists. And now you want to conquer people, then it might be helpful to like other people like individually. So if you have pops not of your founder species, Xenophile will help. So we'll make them Xenophile Militarists. And let's see here, you can choose then what you want as your government. And you cannot reset like these choices here, the ethics, but you can later choose another governmental system. And which of these systems or advanced systems you get is determined here. So you cannot see the advanced ones here, but the advanced ones will be always like 2 or 3 times as good as the original ones. Depends on the patch you're playing on. So what we would do here is we're hurting a bit with the rivalry influence gain. So we'll just go for the military dictatorship. And we have less ship cost, better naval capacity, and rivalry influence gain improved. And we can build an oversized ship, which is good for flavor. And a funny bird hegemony. Totally up to you. And also you can choose the flag. It's up to you what to choose. It doesn't limit your play choice in any way. It's fun to have that. Like, I mean, they're militarists, so let's go for some kind of militarist design here. There's something red and secondary color, something, I don't know, brown or something. Oh, that doesn't look pretty. That does look pretty warlike. So now for the weapons. The easiest weapons are projectile weapons, because they don't have any real counter. The energy weapons can be countered a bit, and they're good against enemy armor, but not really against shields. Missile weapons are like bypassing that, but they can be defended by point defense, so projectiles are really the middle ground. But lasers are also good, but as a beginner I would choose projectile weapons. They don't have any really special strength, but they're just good overall. So for the Ftl method you have warp travel, which is easiest, which is recommended for the new players. You can jump from everywhere to everywhere, but I would really go as a beginner for hyperspace travel. You can see then where you can jump from where to where. You have like little lines that connect all the star systems, and then you can see where to jump. And why is this better? Like, not because you can be blocked there, because you need to pass through a certain system, but you're much faster than in warp travel. Like in warp travel you always have warp cooldowns and stuff, and I mean you can jump anywhere, but it will be in the long run very slow. That is much faster. And with a wormhole travel that would be even faster, but you need to build wormholes then first before you can jump anywhere. I mean you have a certain range then. You can, from the wormhole you can go to certain systems. But like for the start, hyperspace travel is the most comfortable thing. Like it's a compromise between the two, and it's really not bad. So ship appearance, it's only appearance. As I already said, avian ships are pretty cool, so we're taking these. Now we have our funny bird hegemony here. Let's save them up if we want to use them later. And go back and go through the process of creating 4 different species. I can imagine some of you are builders and researchers, and so let's actually go for a scientific choice here. First, as I said, we're going through research, we're going through military, we're going through diplomacy, and we're going through war. So the words were kind of warlike, so let's go for some researchers now. And I mean, why not choose humans? We like to think of ourselves as researchers and big heads. And I already made the mistake, yeah. So, big heads. Big heen. Well, let's just take it. Call them great researchers. Just to describe them a bit, and let's call these ships human. Human 1 maybe, like to get the flavor of the Middle Ages a bit. Then what would be good researchers? They would be intelligent to improve their output everywhere. And other choice would be physics output, because that improves again your output. By what? You can later research some AI technologies that will help you with the research bonus even more. So, and these are in the physics department, so we'll go for physics. Note that it is a very extreme choice. It is not that easy to play, the researchers. You should still build a lot of ships. Don't make the mistakes and go for like just building buildings and bask in your glory of research. No, you need to build a strong force of ships, because you need to survive early on before you have that. Now, you can go for slow learners, which is really only limiting your leader experience gain. That is pretty okay, because in a very short time you'll have technologies that will make your leaders be like ages old and not dying. You can also go for weak, as this fits like the cliche of the intellectuals, and it won't hurt much. I mean, you won't go for invasions early on, so the army damage doesn't hurt. The minerals hurt really a bit, so I maybe wouldn't go for it at the start. You may have a fleeting leader lifespan. That is also an okay choice. And we'll just go for like also an intellectual choice. We'll make slow breeders. That is not the best choice, but it fits with the whole thing. And You'll later get also a lot of technologies for better food production, and that will improve your growth a lot. So let's go for the slow breeders. And then we'll make a female. She looks good in that kind of thing. Rebecca Duncan, why not? And you can also see here we have a phenotype, like the standard phenotype today for researchers might be South Korean or something like that. And just going for the style of maybe Star Trek researchers. Something like that. They might start on the continental world. I mean, why not? Homeworld name is the Great Enlightened. Star name might be the Enlightenment. Let's make them start in the Sol system. So they have a continental preference now. Let's give them a mammalian city. And they'll of course be fanatic materialist as researchers, and you can give them also individualist choice. They won't have a big slavery tolerance then. They could be peace-loving, they could be xenophiles, that would also fit in. They could be collectivist as well. Like they're putting their individuality behind in the service of the state, so you have the choice to go for slavery or not. And then you can go for a science directorate, which is pretty helpful at the start with the research alternatives. That will help you a lot, because you can choose like what kind of you can choose between 3 technologies usually that are randomly generated in your like progress state, so to say. And if you have another alternative, that might be very good for you. Other thing is, if you just want more research quickly, that's a straightforward choice. Let's go for a despotic hegemony. You can build an elite assault army, which may help you with a weak thing, but may or may not. Like the science directorate is also good. The despotic empire is also good if you go for slaves. Really, that would be my choice because of the high slave and the slave output thing. Then you could go for plutocratic oligarchy, which also helps with the 5% energy and mineral credits. That is really helpful. But we'll go for extreme research here, so let's go for the despotic hegemony. Just up the research speed. And also the research station build cost, which is very good. Influence at the start will go up. So let's see, the big head consciousness seems fitting for someone who's researching, and it's actually always or often associated with the color blue, so let's give them some blue colors here. Secondary color maybe this, and then let's go for the round thing. That might be a research symbol. Let's give them energy weapons just because they are pretty cool with a light show, and it's associated with like advanced beings. Like that, they could also go for wormhole travel. They will not expand that quickly, but they will have advanced technologies quickly. And we'll give them the wormhole travel so they can take full advantage of their high-tech, probably defense stations, wormholes, and all of that. Let's give them some futuristic ships. Maybe let's go for the avian ships. I like that look, pretty much so. We have these. They are excellent researchers now. They have the option to go for slaves. The food consumption minus 5% really helps with the growth time as well. And so you need less food. You will not grow that much, but you need less food. You can research more. Let's save them up. And let's go for, I can imagine you would like expansionist. Like if you're a builder, you would like expansionist. Let's see who we're choosing here. What would be expansionists? Maybe some kind of insects. I mean some kind of ants that are expanding everywhere. Let's take these guys. Let's make them the breeder ant kingdom or something. Breeder ants. Breeder ant, and call them the great expansionists. Let's see, now we have insects here. Attack swarms. Swarms, that's really cool. Like, let's call them ships like the Brie. Now, what would be good for these guys to expand quickly? They'll go for maybe the standard choices of Agrarian and Industrious, which is very great expansion early on. Agrarian is not that good, but for that specific strategy, it is good. Now, we need 2 trade picks here, and they could be like more of a collective and not much about their leaders. So it could be fleeting leaders and also slow learners. So their leaders are not that good, but they as a collective are pretty strong. Let's make a male leader this time. Oberthai, why not? Give them some color, maybe the nice green color, some clothes. Something that, yeah, that might be... Now, home world, they could be starting on a desert world. Some ants are starting on a desert world. Let's make them start at a random system this time. And you have here the very nice Anthropoid city. Let's see, what would be good for expansion? Quick expansion. They would be collectivist, of course, to get the food consumption down. They could be, like, growing more quickly. That was formerly, like, in the pacifist thing, but it's not anymore. So let's see where this is right now. I mean, growth time is also spiritualist, so they could be... actually fanatic collectivists and spiritualists, and so they have 2 choices to go for: Divine Mandate or Despotic Empire, and they would use slavery, of course, for a very quick expansion. So let's choose a Despotic Empire here. Building cost is also decreased, which helps you even more to expand quickly. And the Breeder Ant Dominion. Let's give them like a desert like thing that might be a sun that is going there. Secondary colors, maybe this, so it's the desert colors. And let's give them, I don't know, the projectile weapons are very fitting for these guys, I think. Let's give them actually the hyperspace travel, which is very good, as I explained at the start, and let's give them their original ships. Now you have very good expansionists that can like use slavery to improve the output of food and minerals even more, and that will help have less growth time, less food consumption, so we'll have overall pretty good growth of the population. And the leaders won't be as good, but you will be able to expand like there's no tomorrow, and it won't cost you much. So, and you can build an oversized military station, like for defending your most important system, maybe. So, let's save these, the Breeder and Dominion. Let's go for the next, and this time we're going for war. Maybe let's take them reptilians, or I could also take cats, but these look pretty aggressive here. Like, let's take these. They look fierce, right? So maybe the small dragons. Make them great warriors and fuel their expansion that way. We have reptilian names, the Star Hunters. That looks pretty reptilian. Yeah, what could be a good? Maybe dragon. Oh, dragon ships. Now, what would you give them? Industrious is a pretty good choice, as I said already. Would be pretty good for them as well. Very strong I wouldn't go for. But we could go for strong, which helps. Industrious, which helps as well. And then we might go... Well, we have 2 more picks. We could go for something like small here. Like resilient if you want, but that is... In my eyes, it is useless. So could go for natural physicists. There are good weapons in there. But really, we could just choose the Repugnant. Other species won't be happy anyways with us. So this is like a standardized military race. They have a male leader that looks pretty... Sarax, the president, he's pretty aggressive looking already. Let's make them red. Ah, they have nice choices here for... Yeah, let's give them that armor. And they're from an arid world, fighting for survival. Lox Ungrak. Yeah, that's something they would call themselves. The people from Lox Ungrak. Pretty aggressive. Let's give them their reptilian city. Let's make them actually fanatic militarists. And, I mean, they could be purifiers, but I don't want to further that thing. They could be collectivists as well, so they could have slaves. And then we could go for the military dictatorship. Again, that is pretty great. Could go for the military junta with a ship upkeep decreased. Or we could just go for the despotic empire. But really, the oversized ship will be very fitting with a fanatic militarist. You gain more weapons damage, and weapons damage means better ship damage. So that would be a choice. Of course, also, like the spiritualist choice would help with later integrating people into your society. So that would be a solid choice as well. But I think collectivist is pretty good for them too. Military dictatorship always helps. If you want to integrate people quickly, you could go for xenophiles. I mean, this offsets a little bit of the rivalry influence gain, but what do you know? You have that plus here, so let's just make them full throttle warriors. There you go. And as I said, you can reset later on with some research, some influence, your system of government. It will cost you some influence points, and you can choose between these 4 choices. The Dragon Combine. The Dragon Star Imperium. That seems like a good name. Let's give them that pirate symbol here. Something warlike again. Maybe that. Primary colors. Something blue, secondary, these deep red. Let's give them missile weapons, just for the funsies and hyperspace travel. As I already said, I like that. Reptilian ships are fine, they look threatening. And this is just a starting tech. You're not limited to that tech. You can research other techs in the future, so this is the starting tech. And at the start, missiles are a pretty good choice. Last choice I would go for would be like diplomacy choice. Let's give them more like a cute appearance. I like these foxes for cuteness. Let's make them the friendly foxes. And make them great diplomats. Give them that FF prefix for the ships. What would be nice? Starfleet maybe, to remind you of the Starfleet missions. And then of course, if you go for diplomacy, like really full throttle diplomacy, which is not easy to play, but which is actually a very interesting choice, you would always take charismatic. And you could go for good leaders. Could go for conformists if you want to integrate a lot of people. Could go for communal for the same choice. I mean, what would they be? They would probably be conformists, really. And also what would help is they're natural sociologists. These gives you some really good choices for research, which will help your diplomacy and which will also help your habitability and stuff. So we can now choose non-adaptive. Fix this up, and now we'd have species. If you integrate other people, they will be happy in no time, as they will adapt to your ethics divergence. You'll have the technologies for it also being natural sociologists, and you'll be charismatic to deal with other empires quickly. Now, let's make a female ruler. Oropan, Zokjor, I don't know. Kaljgor, let's give her nice clothes that look diplomatic, maybe like this, like Seldar style. They could be Arctic foxes from an Arctic world. Ivandazun, Yvonne is a nice star name. And yeah, let's give them, I don't know, let's give them a planetoid city for strangeness. Now, of course, if you want good diplomacy, you want xenophiles, and you want pacifists. And I'm not taking fanatic pacifists. Why is that? Because then you would have problems, like maximum rivalries -3 means, oh, you cannot have rivalries, and that may be a problem. And war happiness will also go down massively then with them. So, yeah. Better be able to still fight a war, right? Could go for moral democracy with them, for peaceful bureaucracy, that always helps a lot. Enlightened monarchy, which gives a special park building that also helps the happiness. And yeah, you could also go for all of these. Like, it's really not that important for your diplomacy. I mean, you could go for the enlightened monarchy, for the park building. Otherwise, the peaceful bureaucracy is pretty powerful at the start. If you expand early on, 5 more core sector systems, maybe that doubles your core sector systems available. Otherwise, you will only have 5 core sector systems. If you expand quickly, this is helpful for you, and that you should do that to have a strong back line for your diplomacy. On the other hand, moral democracy, like, is really not a bad choice at the start. You can change that later, maybe to a despotic empire, like, for the choice you like. Also, plutocratic oligarchy will be good at the start, but we'll go for the little heart here. Moral democracy, at least from the role play, it fits. And you should also expand with these quickly, because you won't have that many problems. Just make sure you don't expand into border systems, then you'll be happy. Friendly Fox Council seems like the thing you would go for if you're friendly and want to live in harmony. That would be a council, right? Let's give them some round symbol that symbolizes harmony a bit. Maybe that, like they're the moon foxes, calm colors, round symbols. Maybe that, like, to fit the Arctic style. Maybe this looks harmonious. So what would they go for? Probably projectile weapons, to have all the choices available, and they would maybe not need to be able to warp through everywhere, and to maybe surpass some systems that are blocked for them. They would be good with warp travel still. So let's take warp travel here. Give them some funny ships. Let's take molluscoid ships. And now these will be great diplomats. They will help you through the game if you play really diplomatically, which is not an easy task Just make sure to have enough ships at the start so you survive the start. Later on, there are not many people that will attack you. The good chances are that your neighbors will be attacking you. So that's where you should be vigilant. But your farther away guys wouldn't attack you that much. Xenophile will help you a lot. Pacifist will help you. And Charismatic will also help you a lot with other species. So let's save up the Friendly Fox Council. And now we have a lot of choices for you. We've made a lot of things here. So I'd like to wish you fun with your games. If you like these videos, if you like Stellaris, you could subscribe. Why would you subscribe to us? Because we're bringing like the Stellaris news regularly. I'm reading through the dev diaries and just telling you what to expect next from Stellaris, what DLCs are coming out, all that kind of stuff. And from time to time I'm making a guide, and I'm also usually making a let's play that is amusing to watch. But really, it's your choice. I would love to have you on board, just because the more the merrier, right? And if you have like great input for this video, maybe your own favorite empire, just post it. I'd love to hear from it. So if you want to stay in contact, just subscribe and have a fun time. See you in the next video, wherever that is. Happy gaming. Immanuel signing out.